Hello and welcome back for the final time here at this Para-Alpine Skiing World Championships to Kranjska Gora. It's the final day and the final run of the Alpine skiing here in Slovenia, and we are going to end it in style with the women's slalom. We've got 3 gold medals to give away in the VI, the standing and the sitting, and potentially some surprises on the way as well. Let's take a little look back at what went down yesterday though, as the men's competition reached its conclusion. Here with our winner once again, same as day number 1, Jeroen Kampstra. That's 2 out of 3. We spoke on Monday, 1 out of 3. You've now done the double. How do you feel?
I feel amazing. Like I said, slalom's the favorite. I see I had a great time. It was still hard, you know. It was a lot harder than the first run. It was a little slippery, but yeah, I still managed to keep working, and until the end, it was quite an experience to keep on going. You know, it was hard to keep focusing, and because there were a lot of small mistakes, but still I let the ski just go in speed, so that's it was good.
2 in 2. You were absolutely ecstatic with number 1. How does number 2 feel?
The number 2 was really difficult. It's a long slope, really, and in the last part I was, you can do it, and I saw the red line in the snow. I say, it's here when you can't stop behind this line, and I did it again.
Well, it brought us so much action, didn't it? A real day of thrills and spills. That late disqualification for Jakob Krako, granting Giacomo Bertagnoli his first gold medal of the World Championships. And the Italian heads to home snow next week to try and claim some more as well. In the sitting, Jeroen Kampstra remains almost impossible to beat on this kind of form. We look forward to watching him next week. And in the standing, magic again were the words used by Arthur Bauchet, and it's difficult to disagree with him. Today, his fellow French person, Marie Bauchet, goes in the women's standing. They're looking to make it 4 French golds out of 4 in the standing competition. She was magnificent again this morning. And let's take a little look back at what the other skiers got up to on run number 1 of day number 4. It's all set up quite beautifully then, isn't it? What a ski this morning from Mel Perrine, and the Australian is within touching distance potentially of a gold medal, but you can never ever rule out Henrietta Farkasova. That is first up this afternoon on the slopes. In the standing, Marie Bochet again imperious. Can anyone get close? Andrea Rothfuss, Alana Ramsey the closest. Can Fred Turgeon sneak into the medal positions? All the questions that will be answered this afternoon. And in the sitting, what a ski from Annalena Forster. The German was in super form. Can she claim her first gold medal of the championships? Don't forget to get in touch with us on Twitter, on Instagram and on Facebook. We are at Para Alpine. Use the hashtag Para Alpine to get exclusive interviews, exclusive chat, loads more as well. Without further ado though, it is time to take to the slopes in Slovenia for the final time of these World Championships. It's over to our commentator, Alan March.
Thank you very much to Stephen Jameson once again. He'll be joining us in Slalom, which is where we hope you join us after we leave Kranjska Gora for the second half of these World Championships. My name's Alan March. Thank you very much for joining us on the fourth and final day. If you want to get involved or even active, just like this young lady here, you can use this hashtag, Para Alpine. You could also use hashtag Kranjska Gora 2019 as well. If you want to follow all of the social media channels and get the extra content, use at Para Alpine on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. A lot more content on there outside of this live broadcast. Special interviews and segments and highlights packages being offered to you on there. The snow temperature -5, the air temperature -3. It's the warmest it's been for a couple of days here. There's no snow, hasn't been for a few hours now, and the sun is trying its best to move away the clouds that have been gathering for the last couple of days. But the first 2 days were covered in bright sunshine. Here we're covered in the Podkurin 3 course. 547 meters of it is what the athletes have to attack one final time here before we move out of Slovenia and into Italy for the second half of these World Para-Alpine Skiing Championships. Women's VI, women's standing, women's sitting, all in the slalom events. And we'll start with the women's vision impaired category. Anna Peskova, Kelly Gallagher, Menna Fitzpatrick, Henrietta Farkasova, and the early leader, Melissa Perrine. But the gap between the Australian and the formidable Farkasova is not much at all. Can Melissa Perrine take her fourth world gold medal? Didn't compete in Televisio. Took the first 3 of her career in 2015. Can she go and get another? This lady is competing in her first World Championships. Had an outing or 2 at the Paralympic Games. This is Anna Peskova. Michaela Hubakova is her guide. Two runs combined for all of these athletes over the slalom course. So you haven't missed a minute of action. It's the time you set from the morning combined with the second run. The course is changed during the break. So the regular viewers, you'll already know that, but we're making sure that we include all of the information for those that are perhaps new, tuning in for the very first time to watch any form of alpine sport. These two competed in Pyeongchang, the Super G downhill and super combined on those occasions, so the first chance at slalom at a world event for this pairing. Peskova edging her way towards the foot of this course, and we're just a few gates away from Peskova completing her second day.
And up across the finish line, 2:58.29.
Next out, experienced Kelly Gallagher and Gary Smith. Well inside the time that was set by Peskova, as Gallagher would expect to be. Sets her own high standards and having tasted Paralympic success. He's certainly a grafter and a hard worker, was potentially going to be left out of the Pyeongchang squad of skiers by Great Britain, but she worked tirelessly to get into that selection. And here she gets across the line, 2:19.84, 38 odd seconds ahead, but it's all about how much will that give her an opportunity to take a medal here. Paralympic champion, it's a great title to have, and Menna Fitzpatrick and Jen Keogh can both claim to be that in this very event. The slalom, wonderful scenes in Korea. These two almost surprising themselves with the victory. Talent doesn't come as a surprise, it comes from hard work, and these two have certainly put in the hours on the slopes together, gleaned the understanding that they need. And Fitzpatrick will have been annoyed to have been down in third. The 20-year-old already got inside Gallagher's time, but this will be about closing in on Farkasova and Perrine. Has she got the speed to maneuver her way onto the podium? Across the line, 2:13.53, some 6 seconds inside Smith and Gallagher. You see Gary Smith looking on, there's a bit of a smile there for Men and Jen. I'll explain how unusual it is to see Farkasova sat in second at the end of a run. Very, very out of character, but Henrietta Farkasova now needs her guide, Natalia Subatova, to find something big. 3 and a bit seconds in front. But it's about how much they can put between themselves and Perrine. Farkasova is chasing a 14th world gold medal. These final few gates, her last few moments to stretch that time to 2:08.45. She's ahead of Fitzpatrick, and now it's down to the final athlete in the women's standing. So Perrine, her guide, a level 4 skiing instructor in Bobby Kelly. And these two are one good run away from being a world champion. Great first run. They had no difficulties whatsoever. They're inside, but it's just 0.11, just over 1/10 of a second between the Australian and the Slovakian. How much more Can Kelly push Perrine? Talking constantly through the microphone in her helmet. Pushing along Perrine, who is now 3/100ths of a second back. This is the key moment. Oh, Perrine's off balance. Trying desperately to claw back some time. And around that gate she goes. And with just a dozen gates or so to go, the Australian gold medal is dashed. And across the line, 2:18.05, and you see the frustration. It's bronze still, which is why you never give up. But Melissa Perrine will be ruining that moment just here. All the way off balance. Bobby Kelly can only look behind her and then looks to the heavens. And you saw Perrine's frustration at the end, smashing her ski pole into the ground. Well, it's silver for Fitzpatrick, it's bronze for Perrine, and Farkasova does indeed claim a 14th world title, but it might have been tighter than that. It's Slovakia from Great Britain from Australia in the women's VI. I can't imagine how Melissa Perrine is feeling right now. Frustration, I'm sure. But for Farkasova, you do a clean run, you put together two decent times, and that's exactly what these two ladies have managed to do. Sometimes it's not about just how quick you get down, it's what the others around you do as well. Just a demonstration from these two, I suppose, that putting two good runs together is the key, and that's exactly what they've managed. Plenty of support for the German athletes taking part here over the course of this competition. You see the back of Melissa Perrine, who will want to see the back of this course, I'm sure, after that frustration. Let's go and hear from our winner, shall we?
Guys, a big congratulations. I know that's probably not the way you'd have liked to have won your gold medal, but a gold medal nevertheless. How are your emotions right now?
Gratulujem, že zrejme to nie je to spôsob, akým sme chceli vyhrať zlatú medailu, ale aj tak, aké sú naše pocity. Áno, tešíme sa zo zisku zlatej a škoda, že sme to nevyhrali spôsobom taký, že by sme priamo v súboj porazili teda Melisu, ale tešíme sa zo zisku zlata. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, we're very happy about the medal, of course. The winning goal is always great. Nevertheless, it's a shame that we couldn't fight for it, you know, among the best. And it's a shame that Marisa, you know, did not. I mean, she did finish, but with a huge mistake. So it would have been better if we could have fought it off for the gold.
Hey, it's another World Championship gold there, ladies. A huge congratulations. Best of luck next week in Slalom.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Alan, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Lena Kratter will get us underway. Ilma Kazazic will be next after that. You take a look down the bottom end though. Frederick Turgeon wants a medal in her first World Championships. Alana Ramsey's in her third and will want more medals. Roftus will want to defend her title. Maria Bochet will want to win every gold medal there is on offering at these World Championships. What a wonderful lineup of athletes we have. We'll start off with Elena Kratter. Didn't have the smoothest of runs this morning. The single leg skier from Switzerland. Kratter will be desperate for a smooth, steady run. It's all about getting a good run under your belt and moving on. I'm convinced that Kratter, I think, is competing in some of the World Cup sections after these World Championships. Many of the athletes choosing not to go to Zagreb and get themselves here to Kranjska Gora, or the front edge of the ski, just catching the pole. Oh, and Kratter stumbling towards the end, but does get across the line. Well, 2:41.48, a stumble across the line, but it stopped the clock. Ilma Kazazic from Bosnia and Herzegovina next to go. Already a double Paralympian. Youngster from Sarajevo, inspired by the former coach who sadly passed away in 2016. Very often you'll hear Ilma talk about how she dedicates every good run to him, and will continue to do so. Without him, she wouldn't be on the circuit. There's the stars of her nation's flag on her right thigh. Oh, and Kazazic sliding down on the opposite thigh. I think she is going to put every ounce of effort and energy she's got to try and climb back to the gate. Nope, just a little bit too much for Ilma Kazazic, who goes out of the World Championships in the slalom. First of the two Chinese athletes taking part in the women's standing. This is Wang Qingyun. Will she be able to chase down the time of Elena Kratter? When you start at the slowest end of the start list, you're always chasing the one in front of you. That's the general rule of thumb. Here, Wang is just in front of Kratter, who wouldn't have wanted to be first out of the gate here, being she was slowest this morning, but her run wasn't without incident. Wang's wasn't the smoothest this morning, but she's just about making some of these turns. Over 2 seconds back on Kratter. As it stands, you will expect Kratter to move up the standings with a decent second run, despite almost cartwheeling across the line. 2:44.43 for Wang. Guo Xiaxin, second of the Chinese athletes to go. Completed the first run. Now we'll want to get the better of her compatriot Wang. Just 19. For the Bay province team. And she's not racing for the national team now. New experience, aiming towards the 2022 Olympic Winter Games in Beijing. Slow and steady. Lots of learning being done by this Chinese team. And 2 complete runs in the World Championship to boot. 2:37.75. Plenty of people looking on and reflecting. First of 3 Canadians to make it through to the second run. Mel Pemble. 18-year-old DNF in Pyeongchang in the slalom, so a World Cup finish, or World Championship finish, would be a move in the right direction. Moving into those turns. Some 5 and a bit seconds ahead of those that have gone before her. Just got to keep it steady in this bottom section. This is where we lost Perrine in the women's VI. No such troubles for Mel Pemble. And to the line she goes. 6:78 in front. 2:30.97 for Mel Pemble. Elena Kratter looking on. Ami Hondo. Year-old. Eighth during the games in Pyeongchang, and already very much up on Pemble's time. Remember seeing Hondo in Pyeongchang, and already with less than a year gone from those games, her style has improved, her balance and speed is better. Maybe one for the future. Maybe these World Championships are a bit early. Oh, and as I say that, she gets out of shape. That can happen to the best of them, but Hondo has recovered and will get to the line in 2:24.02. She now leads.
Is Ami Hondo of Japan.
This is Petra Smatova. Bronze medal winner on the opening day. Mistake in the first run. It was costly for Smatova if her aim was to medal on both days. She has to find something big here. She's well inside Ami Hondo. 2.82 seconds as it stands. You see the blue sky starting to appear here as we're all thinking about leaving. The sunshine starting to make an appearance on the final day as well. 3:43 the difference, the second intermediate time. You can see those on the bottom right of your screen. Smatova. This is quick in the bottom section. Now got to keep it straight into here, and through the line she comes. 2:18.96. She's our new leader. Anna Maria Rieder from Germany. 18-year-old. Impairment is a impairment to the range of motion. Maria was born, she weighed just 722 grams. Lies for the first 6 months of her life. She's dropped time here. Smartova will climb a place unless young Anna Maria finds some speed in this bottom section a little. 3/100 is nowhere near enough.
Fighting the time of Petra Smarzova.
Smartova looked a lot quicker through this section, it has to be said.
The German fans in the finish area
Rita
cheering her on.
having to work harder in this bottom section. How much has she lost? She's well outside the time. Smartova will stay first. 2:79 is the difference. 2:21.75. Smartova sits with her feet up. How long will she relax? Frédérique Turgeon, her first World Championship, came into these World Champs on the back of a double win in Zagreb at the World Cup. Couldn't have been more confident. A spill on her opening day doesn't seem to have dented it too much. And she's 4.5 seconds quicker than Smartova, so she should be, with a decent first run as well. This is about putting in a shift that might get her past Alana Ramsey. And then she has to hope maybe for a mistake from either Rothfuss or Boucher. Turgeon working hard. Stretch the lead at the second intermediate by 1/10. Into the line quickly, 2:13.84, 5 seconds and a bit quicker than Smartova. It's a good run from Turgeon.
From the first run,
A smile there
starting with her teammate Elena Ramsey.
from the youngster. By contrast to Frédérique Turgeon, this is Alana Ramsey's third World Championships. From Calgary has silver and bronze medals to talk about. So 2 bronze in Pyeongchang as well. A little rough through there. Is that the help that Turgeon needed? 37.42. Oh, just inside. 3/100ths of a second. Alana Ramsey. The two Canadians are very much against each other for the bronze at the moment. That's much better from Ramsey, using her experience
Trying to beat her teammate Frédérique
to push
Turgeon.
herself to a 0.61 lead, but again, a little bit untidy in parts. How quickly can she get through this bottom section? We're looking at 2:13.84. This is going to be tight. Oh, it's 2:14.65.
Second place for Ramsey.
Ramsey goes behind Turgeon.
And now Turgeon has the medal for sure. While Elena Ramsey
Andrea Rothfuss to defend her title as world champion. Needs an Andrea Rothfuss type performance. Just the solitary gold in Sochi as a Paralympian. 4 silvers and a bronze in Pyeongchang. But this is an opportunity to take her 5th world title and retain the slalom that she won in Tarvisio. She's just inside Ramsey here. Ramsey lost time at this section. This is where Rothfuss needs to be quicker than Turgeon, who was very quick in this bottom section, I have to say. 2:13.84. This is also going to be tight. Oh, it's just outside. Oh, this is dreamland for Frédérique Turgeon. Rothfuss spilling time towards the end. What is going through the head of the young Canadian? Only the great Marie Bochet can stop her from having a World Championship gold. Marie Bochet doesn't make many mistakes. Marie Bochet doesn't do many slow runs down a slalom course. She was quick, and I mean seriously quick this morning. She's already 8 seconds ahead of the first intermediate time. Surely the great Bochet isn't going to miss out on a second medal of the gold colour. 8.82 seconds ahead. There has to be a huge mistake here for Bochet not to win back-to-back golds in the opening week of these World Championships. This is sensational stuff. Bochet through the line. What a run again. It's gold number 16. She's just 24 years old, and that is World Championship gold number 16 for Marie Bochet of France. Frédérique Turgeon has jumped from 4th to 2nd and claimed her first ever World Championship medal. Andrea Rothfuss dropping down. Hannah Ramsey, the lady that will miss out. But what a run from Bochet. You might just see in the middle of your screen at Bochet and Turgeon embracing. It's been a turbulent start for the year for Frédérique Turgeon. You can see the tears are starting to come. Her father passed away at the beginning of the year, and this means so much more than sport. This means so much more than racing against each other. This is all about respect. And look, just look at the embrace between the champion and the newcomer. Well, you still see the back of Frédérique Turgeon, who is struggling to come to terms with what she's achieved. Perhaps the emotions of 2019 riding high. Well, Bochet knows all about winning. She knows all about having to fight for victories. And a 10-second gap between her and second place. Just the exclamation point on how good this young lady is. And again, as I was saying in commentary, you forget sometimes she's just 24. That is 16 World Championship gold medals. That's prolific. Well, Turgeon.
Yeah, joined now by Marie Bochet. Marie, another huge congratulations, another gold medal. Just talk to me first, though, about your emotions at the end there with Fred Turgeon. It seemed like something really special for you.
Yeah, because Fred, it's a very good friend, and so happy for her because she had very bad last weeks, and I'm so happy that she takes some pleasure, and I'm so happy to share the podium with her. She's an incredible girl, and she's very cool, so I'm so happy for her, really.
And does that make your gold medal all the more special, the fact you do get to share the podium with some fantastic friends and rivals as well?
Yeah, it's another pleasure, because you share the podium with friends, and you know that you work a lot too, and it's cool when you have a friend just next to you, and it's always different. The podium are always different, but it was very, very cool to be with her and to be with other girls too. But with a friend, it's very special.
Well, congratulations once again. We wish you all the very best of luck for next week in Slalom. Ladies and gentlemen, your world champion once again, Marie Bochet.
Thanks.
So Annalena Forster, Anna Schafferhuber in the battle for gold in the women's sitting, and that's where we go straight away. So a little bit like the standing event before it, we have a couple of Chinese athletes here competing for the first time, some of them getting themselves ready and starting their journey towards 2022, of course, in Beijing. This is Zhang Wenjing. 1:58.54 in a very pedestrian-like pace this morning. Not sure how much experience and exposure these athletes have had so far, but Zhang is just 16, so I'm confident to say this will be the most difficult course that she's ever tackled, and clattering into that red pole. What a wonderful interview from Marie Bochet a moment ago. I said that it meant more than just racing to some of these ladies, and she put the exclamation point on that, didn't she? Zhang is into the final drop down now. Oh, she's getting all sorts of out of shape and just calms it down. Well, Zhang Wenjing and her coaches have obviously got one thing in mind, and that is to complete the run. And she will do that despite a hairy moment towards the end. The 16-year-old makes it to the finish. This is Liu Sitong. Sitong expected to be quicker than her teammate. Competed in Pyeongchang. This is her first World Championships for Liu. Already well over 20 seconds clear of her teammate. People wonder why the skiers wear their helmets and the protective goggles. We see some of these gate poles smashing off the visors and the helmet. That's exactly why. You hanging on in there, 6th place in the slalom of the Paralympic Games. She will be better than that at the World Championships, with 5 more to come. She'll equal it at least. She might be better. Heikki Eder would have been so frustrated at the mistake she made in the first run. Bronze medalist in the Paralympic Games. She'll be looking for a big second run. I saw her outside with the coaches a little bit earlier on, practicing her her jabs, more like a boxer's warm-up, punching the hands of her coach. Everything to get the blood pumping, I suppose. Oh, and she's just slowed herself down, carving her way into that turn. Losing all sorts of momentum. Mentioned the other day, retirements of quite a few significant leaders of women's monoskiing. Claudia Loesch, Stephanie Victor. Sad loss to not have either of them here with us anymore, but they led the way, showed the world how it was done. Anna Benanati, another new to us on the circuit. 25-year-old. competed at the 2016 World Cup finals. This is her first major world event. She is behind Eda. That second run from Haki Eda, as expected, was much better than the first. Still had its difficulties. Can the Texan round her up and get inside the time she needs to stay ahead? No, Eda's time much, much quicker. 3.51 now the gap. Final few gates for Beninati, who will complete a World Championship run, and that will mean so much to the American. And Beninati completes her second run. This is Momoka Muraoka, the Paralympic giant slalom champion, the World Para-Alpine skiing giant slalom champion. Struggled to get the pace in the top half of the course this morning. It cost her dearly. She was well off from the two German team members. So Muraoka has to complete this run as quick as she can and hope for the best. Bronze at the moment is where it's at. Commentators curse and all that. I predicted with Stephen Jamieson that she would be the lady at the top end of the leaderboard, but that's pretty much how it works. 4.89, the difference between Muraoka and Haki Eda. Muraoka into these final few turns, and through the line comes Muraoka. 2:26.42 is the time for the Japanese athlete. Is it bronze, or are there more twists and turns of the entertainment kind coming up from Schaffelhuber and Annalena Forster? Reigning world champion up first. She knows she has to come up with something quick to stop the reigning Paralympic champion from taking her title here in Kranjska Gora. 25-year-old Schaffelhuber versus 23-year-old Forster. Who's got the title? Well inside Muraoka. That's not the concern. This is quick. Lost a little bit of time leading up to the second intermediate. There are plenty of German flags at the bottom of this hill here on day number 4. Which German athlete will be claiming the gold in the ceremony here a little bit later on? Schaffelhuber will go head on, colliding with the entranceway right at the end. It's a good job that's full of air. Bouncing off the inside, just got a little sideways. Gets helped up, she seems okay. Annalena Forster will want a run with no mistakes. 2:21.60 for Anna Schaffelhuber in her combined runs. The world champion has set a time. The Paralympic champion now has the job of getting down, clean, and inside 1:41. The first intermediate, and she is. 2:21.60 is the time to beat. to take the world title, to match the Paralympic title. But we saw Schavelhuber make the mistake right at the end. It can happen at any time. 4.73 now. This is big from Annalena Forster. All comes at very sideways. That would have slowed her down a little, but surely not enough to lose out. 2:21.60. Oh, and there it is. A huge moment. Now has she got time to get to the bottom here? Just a few gates to go. Oh, 2:18.24. Oh, she can breathe a huge sigh of relief. Drama right at the end. Well, she will look back at that and realise that she is a lucky, lucky lady. That could have gone all sorts of wrong. She was delighted at the end, and the two German athletes come together. Schavelhuber and Forster take gold and silver between them, but that could have switched right at the very end. Schavelhuber having difficulty on the line of all places, and Annalena Forster was pretty much facing backwards at one point, turned it around, but the run was so good she still had time to get to the line and become the world para-alpine skiing champion in the slalom. It's Forster from Schavelhuber from Mallorca. Akieda will be pleased with her second run. Fantastic compared to the first. Muraoka gets another medal. She'll know that the first run was what cost her. This is the end of Schavelhuber's run. You see it just bounce off like being on a bouncy castle. The only problem being she was coming at a hell of a force. So the challenge was then for Annalena Forster to make her way down, and she'd done pretty much 89-90% of the course. She had this little sideways early on, and then coming through this section it looked too easy. She's going backwards there. Anything else but landing where she did, and Schavelhuber would have been champion. But my, Annalena Forster gets across the line, falls to the ground, and she will know that sometimes Lady Luck is just shining down. Well, that is the end of the action here. We're going to hope to grab a word with Annalena Forster in a couple of moments. Don't forget, we're off to Slalom in Italy in just a few days' time. The action there starts on Tuesday. We've also got the World Cup as well to look forward to. We're back here in Kranjska Gora between the 4th and 6th of February. That's when the World Cup kicks back off again. We then go over to Vesonas, Ispot, La Molina, and we finish with the World Cup final in France.
Well, we're joined by a world champion, Annalena Forster. What a wild ending to that race. Describe your emotions as you're coming down that final pitch there.
It was so crazy. I thought, that's wrong. I'm backward anywhere. So it was so crazy to see the, and wow, first place, what, crazy.
And you have so much support here as well. It seems like half of Germany is here to come support you. What's that like when you get to ski in front of so many supporters?
Yeah, it's so nice to have so many people here who are in my back and say, yeah, come on, go on. It was very good, yeah.
And you did it the hard way, but what does it feel to be a world champion in 2019?
It feels so good. It was my big goal for this year, and yeah, I'm so happy that I reached it, and yeah, so cool.
Massive congratulations. Best of luck for next week in Slalom as well. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Annalena Forster.
Well, Annalena Forster will know that on another day, that might not have gone her way. Anna Schaffer-Huber knows on another day, she might have been the gold medal winner. Mamuka Muraoka will know that a lack of speed in the top half of the course on both runs is where she lost out the opportunity of taking gold. So it's double delight for Germany. Forster from Schaffer-Huber, with Muraoka taking bronze for the Japanese team. As they get ready for the final ceremonies of the day and of the competition here in Kranjska Gora, it's time for us to say goodbye to what has been a beautiful venue. We've had sunshine, we've had snow blizzards, we've had some great action, haven't we? 4 days here in Slovenia comes to an end. Don't forget, on Tuesday next week, we start again. The second half of the World Para-Alpine Skiing Championships kicks off in Slalom in Italy. For more content exclusive to social media, follow @Para-Alpine on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Get involved with us here for the one final day, hashtag Kranjska Gora 2019 or hashtag Para-Alpine. From myself, Alan March, and all of the team here in Slovenia, goodbye.